I'm Blaine with Iron Born, and today we wanted to go over something that we've been thinking about for a while. As a shop, we have all of our customers, trailer their car here, so we get to see all the different ways to strap a car down, and a couple of the ways we like to, and a couple of the ways that probably shouldn't be done. Strapping the cars down is super important because you never want your car to come off on the freeway, get someone else hurt, damage your car, anything like that. So these are a couple of our favorite ways to strap them down and tips for you guys. Okay, so one of the first things we're going to talk about are the straps. Straps, that's not the case. So these are a couple of the different straps that we've seen people use. Probably the most obvious, wrong one to use are like motorcycle straps. Just little 1-inch cam lock straps. They're great for motorcycles, bikes, maybe four-wheelers. That's pretty much it. The other one is like trucker straps, like the 30-foot yellow straps that you see. One of the things that really sets them apart is they don't lock, like the hooks are just open. So if anything does get slack for just a second, it's very easy to fall off. The second thing is they're 30 feet long. You've got all this stuff you got to deal with once you strap the car down. So unless you're strapping it down in the middle of a semi-trailer, you're gonna have a bunch of strap left over. These are two examples that are the correct straps to use. These ones are from Speed Strap, PRP. They have a built-in axle loop. So what this is if you don't have like a hook to hook onto, you can go around something and, like an A-arm or pivot point, something like that, to hang on to. These are the straps that I've been using for quite a few years. They're from Max. They're great. They've got like the gates on them with a thumb lever. So when you hook it on, they're not coming off. Even if you hit a big bump and the car does droop and the straps do go slack for just a second, they're not going to come off. So any of these two straps are great. The next thing with the straps is the strength of the straps. Like on these trucker straps, they have them printed, so 30 or 3,000 pound. That's the working load limit. So the braking strength should be at least 3 times that. So these they're called 10,000 pound straps. Working load is roughly 3,000. Same with these. The webbing will probably break at 10,000 in a perfect world, but working load is 3,000. So in a perfect world, these should hold 3,000 pounds on the trailer. Okay, so the other thing with strapping the cars down is we always say strapping the car down. We're not trying to keep the car from flying away. It's not a mattress or a piece of plywood. What we're doing is trying to stop the car from going forward and backwards. If you slam on the brakes, you don't want it going off the front of the trailer. You obviously don't want it falling off the back of the trailer. Yes, the cars have park. The park gear is not meant to hold it, bouncing back and forth. The park is to stop and just stay there. So one of the things that we see a lot is people are strapping with the straps pointed down. That doesn't really work with these cars because, as we know, they have 20 inches of travel. So as you hit a bump, that car is going to compress. So if that strap is pointed down, it's going to come loose. And then as that car rebounds, it's going to snap that strap tight. That's going to put a lot of wear and tear on your trailer, your straps, and then also your car. We've seen, cracked welds, ripped off brackets, things from being yanked just, from hitting bumps. So if you're in Vegas, going down the 95, down like by the spaghetti bowl, you're gonna sit and just snap those straps tight every time you go over one of those humps. Okay, so one of the next things to watch out for are things not to strap down to. The axles, they have the CV boots at the end. Those are meant for twisting. They're not meant to get pulled on sideways. So we've seen a lot of customers just wrap around that, and pull back, especially in the Articats where the axle is very easy to get to, it's out in the open. Please don't strap down to those. Also the suspension, like the radius rods, you don't want to grab from the very middle. If you are going to grab towards the end. Try to grab something on the trailing arm up here. Just be careful for the brake lines. We see a lot of brake lines get pinched or torn off. The brake line's usually in the back. If you're strapping down from the front, just kind of put your hand back there, see what you can grab. On the Pro Rs, there's a hook in the back. That's probably the easiest place to strap to. So you can reach and grab that bar and then come back to whatever your anchor point is. The other thing is you want your straps to be as level as they can be, because that will make them the most effective at stopping forward and backward motion. So the lower down on the car you can strap, the better. You know, you can strap up here. That's going to be a better spot. It's going to let the car move, but stop it from going forward and backwards. So as these cars keep getting bigger, our trailers unfortunately keep getting smaller. A lot of times you can't go off the front and then back like outwards. So the best option is to go inwards. So you can pull the back forward and the front back. So like in this scenario, you know, obviously we have enough trailer. I would go out the, you know, front and back, but this option also works. You can go from the back, you know, to some tie down points in the middle. You can go back. If your hooks are too close together, you could go from the front, you know, to like this hook, and then the back to that hook, just cross them. It's another option that maybe people haven't thought of. Okay, so we've got the back of this car strapped down 4 good ways. So we'll start with this one. This is a tire lasso. It kind of just goes around the tire and then, you know, goes down to your anchor point. There's kind of a different variation of this where it goes up over the center of the tire. Those, you have to have your anchor points in the right spot. So if you have the trailer and you use the same trailer and your car goes in the same spot, those are also a really good system to use. The second one that we've kind of talked on before is the center like tie down hook in the back, that coming out. The other one is going forward to the front of the trailing arm. On a Polaris, that bracket that the trailing arm bolts into, that has some openings in the bottom. That's a really good spot to grab to, and that bracket's pretty strong. The other is also going forward. Like if your trailer ended here, you didn't have room to go back, you can grab that and go forward. So all 4 of these ways, plus that tire strap over the center, that's going to get you wherever you're going safely. Okay, so now we've got all the straps in the front. These are 4 great ways to strap a car down. You have like the lasso strap on that tire, or the strap that goes up over the center. You can grab around the A-arm. The Pro Rs, the A-arms are pretty stout. For a lot of the other cars, try to grab either close to the frame or out by the ball joint. If you've got a good bumper, you can go off that. So any of these straps are going to be great. Just try to keep the angle down on the straps. Try to strap as low down on the car as you can, or off the wheels, something that's not going to move. Another quick tip when you're strapping your cars down, these straps are super strong. Sometimes they will come loose. 99% of the time that happens, it's because the person pulls the strap tight and then starts ratcheting. And so there's only a couple of inches of that strap, you know, wrapping around itself. And so that over time, you know, as you're driving down the freeway, will loosen up. So what you want to do is, I'll lay the strap like that, pull some slack into it, so then you ratchet it quite a few times. Now it's wrapped around itself, and so the harder it pulls, the harder it's going to cinch down itself like a Chinese finger trap. Okay, so one of the other things we're going to talk about is loading the car. Load the car in low. A lot of times we'll see people, you know, burn a flat spot in their belt climbing up onto a trailer. So if you load it in low, it's going to help the belt. Also, where to you know, put the car on the trailer. A good rule of thumb is 60% of the weight of the car needs to be in front of the axles. So if you have a double axle trailer like this, you know, we'll just call this the center. So if I could get the center of gravity of the car in front of the front axle, the trailer is going to handle much better. It's going to be a lot safer. You're not going to, you know, see the trailer start to wag. So on most Polarises, it's just in front of the rear trailing arm. So on a Pro R, right here. So the center of gravity is going to be about right here. So if I could get this spot in front of the axle, that's going to be great. It can be all the way forward. It's going to make a little bit more tongue weight on your truck. If you got a big truck, it doesn't matter. I load them all the way forward. The other thing is on like a Can-Am, it's going to be roughly the same. So if you can get that forward of the axles, that's going to be, you know, just that much better. The other thing is if you've got a single axle trailer, that point might not be able to get in front of the axle. You can load it backwards. Just make sure that if you have accessories like a windshield or something, the air pressure driving down the freeway isn't going to pop the glass out. So it's just one thing to watch out for. Okay, so the next part of the equation with strapping your car down is the trailer side of what you're hooking to. A lot of times, you know, there's not a like really good tie down points. People will just reach around and just grab this railing. It's easy to grab, but the problem is the gate can't close on the ratchet. So if you go, you know, you hit a bump, this strap can just pop off, and then you know, it's just hanging there. So in a case like this, if there's no good tie down points, you can get these like standalone axle straps, and you can go around something, hook to it, pull forward, pull back, do whatever. Just make sure the railing is strong enough. If there's not any good tie down points, you can always take it to a trailer place, or you can do it yourself with adding more tie down points, you know, welding them to the frame, going through something that's going to be stout enough to hold your car where it needs to be. Cool, I hope you guys found this interesting. Hope we shared some ways how to strap your car down and get there safely. If you crash your car on the trail, hopefully you got it on GoPro, you break your car because it fell off the trailer, that just sucks. No one wants that. So hopefully you guys get there safely and enjoy the ride.